Prior to applying the Roman Sheild tanking kit, the wet room construction must be complete. There are several ways of constructing a wet room, and here you can see the easiest and most secure way of achieving this by using a pre-manufactured shower tray former. Roman can provide everything needed to tank a 10-meter square room from start to finish. This short video will give a step-by-step guide to show just how easy it is to create the perfect wet room with Roman Sheild. Begin by preparing the area. It must be dry and clean from any debris, as well as being free from oil, grease, dust and other separating layers. Shake or stir the primer thoroughly, then apply evenly using a fur roller, a paintbrush or a suitable spray gun. The entire floor should be primed with a turn-up of 100 mm onto the walls. The walls in the showering area should also be primed from floor to ceiling, including a splash zone of approximately 100 mm outside the showering area. The primer should then be left to dry for a minimum of 2 hours. Once the primer is dry, the next step is to apply the Roman Sheild self-adhesive outlet sleeve over the waste trap. When the outlet sleeve is in position, make 2 cuts across the centre of the sleeve above the waist, and dress down the segments of the sleeve onto the flange area of the trap and cut away any excess material. Then fix the clamping ring into location on the waste trap. The next stage is to apply the Roman Sheild tape, pre-made corners and pipe sleeves. These are all bedded down using the Roman tanking compound. This should be stirred thoroughly before use. Apply a generous coat onto the areas where the tape, pre-made corners and the pipe sleeves are to be placed. Then press the tape, the pipe sleeves and the pre-made corners into the freshly applied compound, and once in place, smooth over with a paintbrush to ensure it is tight against the wall and that all edges are fully bedded down with no creases or bubbles. All wall-to-wall and wall-to-floor junctions, as well as butt joints and nail or screw heads, must be reinforced with Roman tanking tape. You must now check the room. Check that the Roman Sheild tape, the pipe sleeves, the corners and the outlet sleeve have been fitted everywhere required. Make sure the tanking compound used on the tape, the pipe sleeves and the corners has been left to dry for 2 to 4 hours prior to starting the next step. Next, apply the tanking compound. Begin by ensuring the primed area is completely clean, dry and free from loose particles and contaminants. Then apply the Roman tanking compound generously with a small fur roller. The finishing thickness should be 1 mm. This can be achieved in 2 or 3 coats. Allow each coat to fully dry before applying the next. The drying time for each coat is usually between 2 and 4 hours. The entire floor should be tanked with a turn-up of 100 mm onto the walls. The walls in the showering area should also be tanked from floor to ceiling, including the splash zone. Once all these steps have been completed and the room is fully dry after 24 hours, you can then begin tiling and grouting as usual and installing your Roman wet room panel and valve. Remember, your Roman wet room is then backed up by a 10-year guarantee, and here's the finished effect that you can achieve.